And now, Cliff, the clean energy drink, presents Because We Can, starring John Brenkus. It's the show where we do whatever the hell we want, because we can. Tonight, another amazing show. And now, here's your host, John Brenkus.
Wow, I'm just looking at myself right now. I'm a good-looking man. I mean, I got a hell of a haircut. My skin is actually this orange, and I'm feeling good about myself. I feel really good. Welcome everybody to the show. It's called Because We Can, simply because we can. And right now, I'm on my way to my son's lacrosse tournament in North Carolina. Got kind of caught in between locations, so I'm going to do the show from here. It's fine. So let's go around and let's see who we have in here tonight, starting with the one and only Wes Johnson, the voice of Because We Can in Cliff and the Washington Capitals and a gazillion other things. Wes Johnson, how you doing?
I'm doing great, John, sitting back with my Cliff CBD, getting mellow, and at least I'm not heading out for a very late night lacrosse tournament.
That's right. That's right. So Wes and I have known each other for 25, 30 years, if you guys can believe that. And Wes is unbelievable. So he's going to introduce everybody because he has a much better voice than I do. Wes, I think up next might be G-Dub. Let's give G-Dub a proper welcome.
And now, the man who's put it all together. He's a lover and a fighter. Give it up for G.W. Garrison!
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Wouldn't miss a week. Can't believe you guys got me to be on this thing again.
That's right. That's right. G-Dub is, you guys can't tell, but G-Dub is like 6'7", 6'6". How tall are you?
6'5". 6'5".
No,
Everybody
that's not what you tell. Nah, I know. I mean, when I'm looking at the vantage point from 5'8", 5'8.5", if you want to know the truth. You know, everybody looks pretty tall.
6'5". No taller.
6'5".
I think I'm actually shrinking. I'm getting my 40s, so I think I'm actually shorter than that now.
You're regressing. That's right.
Definitely.
Well, listen, we have a really, really special show tonight because Cliff has forged an incredible relationship with Sanford MMA, and G-Dub really spearheaded making this relationship happen. G-Dub, share with everybody why Sanford's so unbelievable.
Well, Sanford MMA is amazing, but that's not the guest we have on this week.
So wait a minute. Stop.
Right.
Is that all right? Rewind. We have an incredible show tonight. We have some incredible guests who are not with Sanford, even though we have a relationship with Sanford. So G-Dub, why don't you talk about the guests who were able to land?
Well, these guys, they don't need much of an introduction. Mike Trezano, he won the The Ultimate Fighter Show 27. Amazing up-and-coming fighter. He's on the UFC roster, currently looking for another fight right now. Without further adu, Mike Trezano.
Oh, wait.
What's going on?
Trezano!
There we go.
That's awesome. No, thank you guys.
Join us, bud.
Dude,
No, absolutely.
thank you so much. Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Mike. I mean, this is awesome. It's a real honor and it's a real pleasure. Congratulations on all the success that you've had so far, and I really appreciate you taking time to join us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime. Pleasure hanging out with you guys.
Cool. So G-Dub, who else do we have?
Well, we've got a amazing guest that needs no introduction, the current UFC heavyweight champ. Some would consider the GOAT of the heavyweight division, Stipe Miocic.
All right, let's get the appropriate intro from Wes.
The UFC heavyweight champion, Stipe Miocic!
So I got a crowd here. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
That's pretty
I love
awesome.
Wes intros, man. I need him around at all times.
I'm a hype man.
That's it. Like I said, you know what? When you're friends with Wes Johnson, you want him everywhere you go. And look at this. What's incredible about Wes is he's a true friend. Hey, Wes, will you tell can you just make an announcement? Say my wife has left the car now. She can't stand me doing the show from here.
And leaving the car at a sheer embarrassment, it's John Brenkus' wife.
Everything sounds good coming out of Wes. Everything sounds
Absolutely
good.
amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, guys, Stipe, listen, I cannot thank you enough for joining, but first and foremost, congratulations on, truly being one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, if not the greatest heavyweight. And we're going to get to, who is the greatest heavyweight? Because I think there's a great argument to be made that you are the GOAT. How does it feel walking around? Because this is something that I can't relate to and hardly anybody can relate to. Walking around knowing that you are the heavyweight champion of the most dominant league in mixed martial arts.
Yeah. So that's definitely not my household. I'm like fourth on the ladder. No one really cares what I do. My wife, and then my dog, and then me. So honestly, I'm blessed. I'm grateful for everything, and everything that's happened. Honestly, it's cool, it's just something like my daughter like, hey, I was a pretty tough guy when I was younger, I did this for you. And, she thinks it's cool, I guess. It's just happy for. I love what I do, and I'm never going to change that.
What kind of a dog does a UFC heavyweight champion have?
I have a Canet Corso.
Oh, that's awesome! I've been dying to get one.
He acts like he's tough though, but he's straight just baby.
Is your dog nearby right now?
No, he's upstairs. He's with my wife and my daughter. They're going to bed.
Oh man,
yeah.
We love dogs on the show.
Maybe next time, man. Yeah, it's funny because he's a tough dog though. I remember one time he got out. He never runs away. The one time he didn't run away, he got hit by a truck, perfectly fine. Right, but then he jumps off my couch, which is about 2 feet high, and blows out his ACL.
Wow!
Wow!
Right?
That's awesome.
Sounds like me, but and he's a good boy. We got him about 8 years ago. He's awesome.
That's awesome, guys. So Mike and Stipe, I want to ask you a question, which has been in my mind about mixed martial arts. I really honestly think that Dana White is doing a real service for everyone because the UFC was really first back into the major sport game, right? And Dana White would have come back even earlier, right, if Disney didn't tell him to stand down. So I respect that incredibly. With all that being said, how have you guys been able to train with sort of the craziness? How are you able to tune it out, do what you need to do, and stay focused? Mike, how are you able to do it?
Well, my gym, we've kind of just opened up for the pro fighters, and we've kept it small, and just anybody who's got a fight coming up, it's just them and everyone else trying to help them get better. But at first, when everything really was shut down hard, because the New York, New Jersey area got hit the hardest first, we were in total lockdown. I couldn't really do much but do cardio, just run and do push-ups and sit-ups and stuff. It got boring after a while, but now I've had my gym open, so it's kind of back to the normal routine.
Wow. Stipe, what have you been able to do to stay focused and to train and stay in shape?
Actually, after the fight, I actually had a torn retina, so I was actually out for a little while. Had a procedure done, got that fixed. So I didn't really get back into swing things mid-January. But by the time I started getting back into swing things, kind of the whole quarantine hit. Our gym was shut down, and I really couldn't do anything. And everyone started crying about pick a job. I'm like, well, I really can't do anything. I really can't go anywhere and train. And then everyone's like, train your gym in your house. So I really which one thing I never wanted to do in my life was put a gym in my house. One thing, and now I have a gym in my house, hindsight, I look at it better when my daughter gets older, have more kids, they can play down there as wall pads and mats, so they can just go ham. But I don't know. I think it's rejuvenated me a little bit just because I get to be home more. We have the pool at my house. We come to the house a couple times a week. We still go to the gym. Actually, we're allowed. So it kind of rejuvenated me just be home closer to my daughter and watch her and train with her next to me. It's been kind of nice.
Wow. So, Stipe, I want you to talk to us really quick about, the mind of, being the heavyweight champion. What I find fascinating, and I've been incredibly blessed with sports science, I was able to work with the world's greatest athletes, and I'm continuing to do that, especially at the UFC. We have Fight Physics that's now on UFC Fight Pass. And one of the things I find fascinating about the heavyweight division is, and people are sort of coming to the table with the notion of, look, that's the top dog. That's the heavyweight champion in the UFC. That's the greatest fighter on the planet. Like, people are in awe of heavyweights, especially before you got to the UFC. Was your mindset, you know what? I think I am the toughest, or one of the toughest people in the world. Not just a tough guy, but like, I bet I could be that someday. Did you always have that mindset?
No, not at all. I'm not gonna lie. It was confidence. That's all it was. And I won my first three. I won my first three fights in UFC, and I felt like I was unstoppable. Got stopped by Stefan Struve, and I should have won that fight. And like, in my mind there, I thought, man, I ain't got what it takes, And then it just like messed with me, and so I legit like stopped caring about what everyone thought. Everyone was like, I just stopped caring. The minute I stopped caring about everything is the minute everything changed. And then I lost to JDS, but that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me too, because like I said, my confidence grew. But like, the minute I stopped caring is when everything just kind of flourished better. Like, I didn't even care what anyone thought. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to listen to my coaches. We're going to win. And, so far, so good. We lost a couple of games. That makes the journey that much better.
That's awesome. Hey, Mike, you were on The Ultimate Fighter, and what I love about The Ultimate Fighter is, anybody who wants to say, reality TV shows are rigged or they're fake or they're whatever, there's nothing rigged or faked about someone getting punched in the face on The Ultimate Fighter. Like, say
No
whatever
way.
you want, right? Nothing fake. So, in terms of, being on that show and having this opportunity, and obviously you wouldn't be here today unless you were able to do what you did on the show. How much pressure did you feel in terms of, all right, this is my time?
I mean, I didn't really put any pressure on myself. I went in there knowing that I was still young. I think I was 7-0 when I went into the show. So I felt like I had nothing to lose. And that was just the mindset I went in with. And I just went in there ready to learn, get as much as I can from it, and just give it everything I got. And the rest happened. I think pressure kind of forms in your mind. And I didn't really put a lot of pressure on myself. I kind of made sure I was away from all the nonsense that occurs, especially when fights actually started happening. Guys would lose, and then they'd start drinking and staying up till 2 a.m. and not caring. And I just avoided it, focused on myself, got the job done.
And had amazing coaches, like the best in the world.
I was going to say, Stipe was the
best coach, best looking
No
coach.
big deal. No big deal.
NPD. How was that? Is that did you guys know each other before the show, or Mike was just somebody you picked on the team? And
Yeah, Mike was actually my first pick. Mike was actually my first pick in the Ultimate Fighter.
First round draft choice.
Exactly. He had
coming from your view, what's the difference? You were obviously on the show training for a fight at the end of the show, where this guy had to kind of fight his way through the show. What's the difference in the mindset? You didn't have to live at the house as a coach, did you? Or the other guys had to physically live there?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I try to go there once in a while. I try to hang out with them a bunch of times during the week. We try to do fun stuff, just to break the craziness. Because I'm nuts, man. If I get stuck somewhere, I go crazy. So I just try to do something. One night we went bowling, another night we did. We went to dinner. I just try to get them off the mindset, or just go there and hang out, and talk to them, and try to change it up. And like a lot of these guys, some guys, they were going crazy. I think, but Mike, he's headstrong. He knew he was good to go.
How long does that show take from when you get to the house, Mike, to where you get to leave the house? How long are you guys stuck there together?
The whole thing was 6 weeks. So yeah, we had no phone, nothing, and like Stipe said, I think that was one of the best parts of the show, is being able to leave and go do things. And get our minds off of just being stuck in the house, not being able to do anything, because all we did all day was we had double sessions. So we'd train in the morning, train at night. In between, we'd either be sleeping, cooking food, or doing nothing, just sitting there. So it was good to get our minds off it.
Yeah, it's got to be
you have people sitting around with a phone in their hand half the time when they've got downtime. The first thing you do is you magnetically reach for that phone, and you don't have anything like that there, right?
Yeah, I mean, the phone wasn't even my biggest thing. It's just I just wanted to like go and do stuff. Like the phone, I felt like I was losing stuff the first couple days. Like, when you like get out of the car and you're like, oh, I forgot my wallet. Like I kept checking my pockets thinking I lost stuff. And eventually that like went away. And I think the hardest part was just I wanted to go out and just get stuff done or do things, but we were just stuck in one place. That was like the worst thing ever, because I like to be in the outdoors and do things. So not being able to do that was tough.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Steve, a lot of people may or may not know this, but you're actually a firefighter, right?
I am.
Are you still active duty, or are you still a firefighter?
I was supposed to work tomorrow night, but I had to trade it because, it's my daughter's birthday, and I didn't want to tell my wife I had to work that night, so I didn't want to get in trouble. So,
That's pretty incredible. So you're the UFC heavyweight champ. You've been fighting in the UFC for 8-9 years now, and you're still an active duty fireman.
Yeah, I'm part-time now just because, I just, with the UFC being, I was, so busy and, everything going on, it was hard to get full-time because you have to take tests and take time out of that. And then if you do get hired, you're on probation, and I just couldn't do it. But, I'm still young enough where I can still get hired somewhere, so we'll see. But, the reason I'm a fireman told also is just because you never know what's going to happen. Man. Anything can happen in this fight game. You slip in a banana peel, you just lose and you get knocked out. So, you have to get backup plan. Plus, I also want to make my mom proud, like, hey, my son's a fireman, good for you,
Do you do 24 hours on and then get 48 hours off? Is that the kind of schedule you work with the fire department? Does that give you any flexibility?
Yeah, that full time is like that. I'm part time, so I can pick my schedule a month in advance. I get like 4 or 5 shifts, sometimes more a month. And so, I've worked 60 hours straight before.
Wow. What was the last time?
60 hours of my life. That was the last 60 hours of my life. I would turn one time. I thought I was going to go crazy.
Wow. Now, what's a good story that you have while being a fireman? Is there something you can share with us where it's like, wow, now this is something you don't see every day?
Yeah. It was with my best friend. We both got hired at the same department 10, 12 years ago. And we're probably about 10 months on. They're like, the Mongoloids are together. He's a big guy like me. He's like 6'4". They call them Mongoloids. So you guys are working together in a squad. So we said, no problem. So and it's this lady, she's probably 45-ish, and she's like, yeah, I'm having a little chest pain. We're fine, no problem. So we get her back in the squad. We patch her up, see her heart rhythm and all that. She has a picture of her heart. And I'm like, and my buddy's like, yo, look. And it's an ST elevation. So she, starting to have a heart attack and all that stuff. And so we're like, okay. So we give her some aspirin. We check her vitals and everything. She's perfectly like normal, like 120/80, like pulse is 70. Like, I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, all right. I'm like, she's like, the pain's gone. I'm like, it look great on the monitor. So I'm like, let's go. So the guys need us. I'm like, no, we're good. We don't need a third guy. We'll be fine. So we're rolling. I'm just talking to her. I'm like, hey, where you from? She says the street where I'm from. I'm like, oh my God, I have like 3 friends on that street. And I think her name, I forget her name was, but I'm like, hey. I look over and she's, ow. Oh my gosh, she's V-fibbing. So I'm like, I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm by myself in the back of squad, I'm a new guy, So anyway, my best friend, he's like, listen, dude, all good. He's like, patches, let's do this. I'm like, cool. So patched her up, and I was a witness. So I actually shocked her and I brought her back.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's crazy. No, not the old school way. No, we have patches, like they stick.
Oh, I got you.
Okay, so I'm like by myself. I'm like, you're clear. I'm clear. We're all clear. There's no one with me, but I'm saying it because like I'm doing everything right by the books. And we got to the hospital. I was sitting with the crash car waiting for her, and my buddy walks in like a boss. He's like, "We got her back. No big deal. Like we got this." And I'm like confused because it's like 10 degrees outside. I'm like purple. Oh, it was terrible. But it was great. It was just a great feeling because like we brought her back, and it was just that's what we do.
You're either kicking someone's ass or saving someone's ass. There's no in between you, is there?
No. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. No, but yeah, I love it. I love being a fireman too, because like another thing too is what being a fireman, like working there, is just like we talk about fighting, but they really don't like bring it up. Like they just if it comes up, yeah, but they don't like go out of their way. You know what I mean? They're just like they treat me like I'm nothing. They don't care. I'm the heavyweight champ of the world. They're like, all right, bro. Hey, guess what? You gotta go do the floors on the kitchen. Good luck with that. You know. Like, all right,
how long were you a firefighter before you started fighting?
Well, I was actually fighting before, but I was amateur, and like I took a little bit of time off because I was boxing. So, oh my god, I'm trying to think. Oof. I was probably started MMA probably like 2-3 years before fighting, but like really, I was doing amateur for a little bit until I moved to pro. So about I think the same time I became a firefighter. I mean, became a professional fighter was I'm trying to think. That's a good question. I have no idea now. I have no idea. It's been so I get in the head too much. I forget stuff. So
that's right. Well, there's no right.
I know I started fighting before firefighting.
That's right.
You got a huge fight coming up August 15th. Obviously, everybody in the world knows about this fight. Everybody's getting ready to watch it. It's going to be your third fight against DC. I think it's going to be the biggest fight of the year. You're looking lean right now. Is this is this on purpose? I mean, is this something you're looking leaner than last time?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still the same way. I'm just training hard, but it has been so hot here in Cleveland, dude. Oh my god, it's unbearable. Like we had like 2 weeks here at 90 degrees. It was terrible. But yeah, and plus everyone's back at the gym now because they want to open everything up, so it's a lot more people. And and plus, I feel a lot better. My wife's a great cook, so it helps out. And I have a great company I work with that food. So yeah, it's like I just just train hard. I think plus also I want to have a dad bod. I still have a daughter now, so I'm staying shape. Good.
Hey, Mike, I want to get your take on, obviously you're a fighter and you're also a huge fan of the game. Give me your sort of take on this trilogy that's coming up. How did you assess the first 2 fights, and what's your take on the third?
The first 2 fights, he honestly, when I watch Stipe, I consider him like when I watch my teammates fight. So I get so nervous, and watching like the way DC fights is like frustrating. He just especially with the eye pokes, like he slaps at you with his fingers, and it's annoying. And honestly, when you hit him with the body shots, you need to do that right away. That needs to be right away. It is soft down there. that was a huge difference. When he started doing that, his face was like, oh God, you saw like the life leave his body. So, I mean, round 3, you need to tee off on his body and make him puke in the cage. That's what you got to do.
Whether it's UFC or spring break, body shots.
Yeah.
I mean, all in.
That was a game changer. When you started hitting him in the body, the fight just turned and went downhill fast for him. That was a pretty amazing round for you.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm usually a fast starter, and for some reason I just didn't start fast. I was so slow, and then when I started everything started moving again. Second round, I started feeling good. Third round, people don't believe this, but I win the third round. 2 of the judges picked me winning the third round. I have the crystal card, I swear to God. But I got better, and by the 4th round, I was like, I'm gonna try a body shot. I talked earlier with my coaches, and I hit it with it the first time. I'm like, it got pretty good, I'm gonna do it again. I'm like, you're done. And that's what I'm doing.
Both you guys are obviously amazing wrestlers, but both your fights so far have just been standing and banging. Do you think the third fight's going to be any different? You think he's going to try and wrestle you, or do you think it's just going to be you guys going toe to toe again?
Well, he told me to bring my wrestling shoes, so apparently we're going to wrestle. So,
could just be trying to get in your head.
Yeah, whatever.
Could be.
I'll be fine. I'll keep my hands up, and we'll be good. He'll be
That's it.
I'll be fine. I got great coaches, and great game plan, so I'm doing everything I got to do.
So Dana White just came out with his Mount Rushmore of UFC. Did you guys hear that? The 4 fighters that he would put on Mount Rushmore. And this is a couple days ago. So Dana White's Mount Rushmore would be Hoist Gracie, Chuck Liddell, John Jones, and Amanda Nunes. And so there was a big, obviously, beef over who should be there and who shouldn't be there. Who would you guys' Mount Rushmore be for the UFC? That whoever you would put up on the mountain. So Hoist Gracie, Chuck Liddell, John Jones, Amanda Nunes. That's who he picked.
I definitely think it should be people that were like in the beginning. And Amanda Nunes, I mean, she is the women's GOAT, but I mean, if you're going to put a woman on there, I think it should be Rousey because she's the one who kind of sparked it for women.
It's
in my opinion.
Tough debate, right? If you had to pick four, who would your four be, Mike?
Oh man,
he left out GSP. He left out Anderson Silva. He left out Jose Aldo. Demetrius Johnson. He left out.
He left out Stipe. I mean, that's who's the better heavyweight than Stipe?
Well, he didn't even put a heavyweight up there. So
I know.
Right.
Well, my head's too big anyway, so it would take up 2 spots. So, hey.
Who would you pick, Mike?
Oof. I agree with the Hoist Gracie one. I think that one should be on there. I would have Rousey on there in place of Amanda Nunes. Even though Amanda Nunes dismantled her, she's still a founding father, quote unquote, for women. So I got those two. Then
it's tough.
I think Randy Couture should be on there.
Now, Now, why do you think Randy should be there? Because Randy didn't. I mean, his record is not even close to being undefeated, but he was Captain America, and he did hold. He was the only one certainly at the time that had the light heavyweight and heavyweight belt at the same time. So that would be an argument for him. But he also, I mean, he lost and he had to come back.
Yeah. That is tough.
Did I just talk you out of that?
You might have. Honestly, you might have. That's why we're having this debate. I mean, we can go on for days.
Mike, back to Stipe. Who do you got? We'll come right back to you, Mike.
Yeah, I got to think about it.
Hoist, of course. I believe Hoist. I would go with GSP because, he's just before, and I think Chuck also, just because. Actually, you know what's funny? I would also put Forrest Griffin up there.
Oh,
the reason for Forrest Griffin is like his fight and turn MMA around, not just UFC, but MMA around. That's what people caught wind of it on Spike TV.
Right. That was one of Dana's close runners-up was Forrest Griffin, actually. Mm-hmm. So you've got Hoist Gracie, you've got Forrest Griffin, Chuck Liddell, and who was your fourth?
Man.
Who?
Just a little bit later, GSP. Yeah.
Okay.
GSP.
I mean, that's tough to argue with, Mike. You've had a lot of time to think about this. What do you got? I mean,
I what got me into fighting was GSP. I enjoyed watching him fight, so I'll have to agree with him on that with GSP. So Hoist Gracie, GSP, Rousey, and who was my fourth one? I don't remember.
Randy Couture.
It was Randy Couture, yeah.
Yeah, you had Randy Couture. Randy's a good choice. If you're going to say, in terms of anybody who shaped the sport, he certainly shaped it. And he certainly, carried the banner with honor and really, popularized it. That was certainly the initial wave. So if you had Chuck and Randy on the top four there, you're taking two of the founding, founding fathers of the sport.
Not all
sure.
founding fathers up on Mount Rushmore. You've only got two founding fathers. The other two are later presidents. You've got Lincoln and you've got Roosevelt. So, you bring some of the later guys in there.
West coming in with just a twister now.
Knowledge.
Well, they all kind of founded something. Now, they aren't necessarily founding fathers, but like Lincoln had the whole slavery abolishment thing going for him. And during the Civil War time, then Roosevelt was, an activist with nature and everything like that. And he got all like the parks and national parks and all that kind of stuff going for him.
Fighters. softly carry a big stick. You guys get into that.
That's right.
If I'm not fighting, I like to go hunting. That's a big thing for me. So
Well, so listen, we had a Herbert. I wanted you to cue up that clip that I sent earlier. We have at Killcliff. Killcliff was really fortunate. You know, this COVID thing has been really affecting a lot of people in big ways, but we've been talking about greatest of all time. And we were fortunate enough to land a new customer service representative who's somebody that I know that you guys like a lot, the Castle Master.
Ooh.
And I think that we're going to give you a sneak peek into what the Castle Master is up to right now. We'll get your reaction on the other side of this. But Herbert, roll a clip of the Castle Master so that Mike and Stipe can see what he's up to now.
Killcliff, the clean energy drink company, would like to share the latest customer support call with our newest customer service representative, the Castle Master.
You shouldn't be doing your calls from the bathroom.
Next caller, go ahead.
Hey, Cosmos.
Uh-huh.
I can't see your face.
Yeah, no, my video's not working today. Sorry.
Is this right?
Kathy,
What?
Yeah. Hey, drink more Killcliff.
Kathy,
What?
All right. Next caller.
how long are you going to be in there?
Hey, Cosmos.
Yeah.
What are
Hold
you
on one
doing in there?
Ma, I'm in the freaking toilet answering some calls.
Do people know you're sitting on the pot?
No, I'm on mute and there's no video.
Do your calls from somewhere else.
Yeah, I'll be out in a minute.
I've got to get in there.
Yeah, go ahead. You got the cast mask.
How long are you going to be in there?
Who's that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, just drink more Killcliff.
Hey, wait a minute. I didn't even ask you a question.
I have to take a dump now.
This is getting ugly.
Awesome new flavors, awesome new cans, and an awesome new customer service representative. Killcliff. Own it. Go to killcliff.com.
What a legend.
Guys, Mike, I know you. Yeah, Mike, you were a big fan of Cast Mass. Do you think that he'd be doing this now? I mean, he's doing a good job, I think.
I think
Doing a big job.
he's doing what he's meant to do. That's it.
You got to
He's
just
adapting.
be. You're right. I mean, you can't just be sitting in a castle your whole life. Stipe, I know that you had modeled actually part of your career early on after the Castle Master. You know, talk about his influence on your game.
I mean, honestly, it's turned my life around. You know, the one thing I did not pick away from him though was going from back to front when I wipe, because you can clearly see that's what he was doing. Was back. We're gonna stop there. But overall, honestly, he's an amazing person, and honestly, I'm blessed to have him. I'm blessed to have him.
It's all about technique.
Exactly. One thing we know, he goes back to front, which is, I'm with Stipe on this one. That's for sure. So, G-Dub, I know that you wanted to tee up something with Stipe and Mike as well, because, and I don't know if you guys knew this, G-Dub, is literally an amazing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. And he won a world championship, which is several actually, down at the Pan Am Games. And I wanted you to tee up G-Dub and inquire about how important wrestling and jiu-jitsu are to the very sport of martial arts, of mixed martial arts.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I wanted you to, yes.
Well, I don't train MMA. My brother trains MMA, but I've gotten in there and worked out with the guys. But I would say wrestling is probably the most. If you had to pick one thing to be good at going into MMA, I would think wrestling as a base is probably the best start you can get, because it helps you control where the fight is going to take place. If you want to stay on your feet, you can stay on your feet. If you want to take it down, you can take it down. And then secondary to that, I think the jiu-jitsu would come in. But if I only had to pick two things, wrestling and boxing, or wrestling and kickboxing would be it for sure. But wrestling, hugely important. If you can't wrestle or you can't defend the wrestler, it's a really long night for you. There's nothing worse than having a guy on top of you that you can't get off, and he's just beating you, silly, draining your energy for, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And it's probably the most frustrating thing on the planet when you got a wet blanket on you of a good wrestler. But secondary to that, I would say, is the BJJ, being able to submit somebody. But if I had to pick two, wrestling and either Muay Thai or kickboxing would be where I would start, and then branch out from there for sure. I know I could be wrong. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah. I'm wrestling. I love standing up. The fight starts standing, and I wrestle my whole life, and those two things help me out. And I think anything you can wrestle and how you can transition from the BJJ to wrestling, kind of mingle them together. It's a great combination.
For sure. A lot of guys I trained with had no wrestling background. I actually had a little bit of wrestling background, and it helped tremendously. Even in the BJJ game, you're starting with, competition experience and mat time, basically. And when you scramble, those wrestlers are ruthless on the scramble. So they usually end up in a better spot. But yeah, I would say hugely important, but I'm not necessarily the expert. I don't fight MMA. I don't like getting, punched in the face, and I don't like.
I don't think anybody does.
I trained stand up just with the guys in the gym, and they needed an extra body in there. And I remember the first time I took a leg kick, my entire leg went numb, and I'm like, "Holy shit, that's what that feels like." It wasn't even a super hard kick, but he kicked me behind the knee, and I was like, my entire leg just went numb, and I couldn't stand it. I was like, that's what that feels like? Holy shit. Like, hugely impressive. So when you see these guys getting whacked in the leg like 15, 20, 30 times, like, just know, like, one of those shots and it's hard to walk. And those guys are taking, 20, 30 in a fight. It's pretty incredible. It's hard to walk the next day for sure.
That's awesome. So, Mike, in terms of your fighting style and your base and what you feel is by far your biggest strength, what do you feel you like to lean into the most today in terms of your game right this second?
I like to strike. I want to stand up and just exchange some leather. That's where I want to be. But I could go anywhere, so it doesn't matter to me. But that's where I'd say my advantage is, which is why pretty much all my fights have ended up on the ground, because everybody wants to try to take me down and not get hit. So
frustrating.
And really frustrating. And Stipe, you said that you built a gym in your house. In terms of the gym that you built, how did you outfit it to really train and keep you in great shape?
I mean, it's decent size. We have enough where we can grapple and do stuff. We got, mats on the wall mats and the wrestling mats. I got a Muay Thai bag and a big teardrop bag. So I think, it does the job, and we use a cage at the gym twice a week. So, 3 times a week. It's about half the time I'm at the house, half the time I'm here. Half the time I'm at the house, half the time I'm at the gym. So it just depends, So I don't mind. I love it. It's very nice. My daughter loves it. She runs around and just goes bonkers in there. So
that's awesome.
Stipe, you a lot of people might not know this. I heard it through the grapevine, but you're a gamer as well, correct? You have a Twitch channel?
I do, yeah.
What game do you play?
I'm playing Modern Warfare right now. Call of Duty, the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
What's your Twitch handle so people know?
Stipe Miocic. So at Stipe Miocic, Stipe Miocic. So
is it more frustrating to have like a 13-year-old whip your ass at Call of Duty?
It's the worst. It's the worst. They start talking smack. You're like, my group, whatever that guy says. I'm trying to calm down. It's like when I win in that game, it's like so more gratifying than swearing I'm winning in the cage. It's like it's such a rush every time. It's like a different rush.
I gave it up a while ago. I think I had a PlayStation 2, and that's as far as it went. But I'm thinking about we're pulling on a lot of gamers at Killcliff. We get hit up constantly for gamers, and it's huge, man. So we're getting into it. We have a few guys on the roster that are heavy into Rainbow Six and a couple.
Yeah, I showed the CG. I want to play that one. I've heard nothing but good things about that game too.
I'll hook you up. He's sponsored by Ubisoft. He's one of the Killcliff guys. He lives over in Denmark. He's a huge Rainbow Six guy. I'll link you up with him.
Yeah, for sure. Please, that'd be great.
You guys ever play any of the Fallout games or the Elder Scrolls, anything like that?
Love that stuff. That's right up my alley.
Which one?
Those I do a lot of voices for those games. So
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Give us some of the voices.
if it's
Which
Elder
one?
Scrolls, you might look for Shea Gorath, Daedric, Prince of Madness, or Lucian LeChance of the Dark Brotherhood. Or if you're in Fallout, maybe you go to like Diamond City and you're looking to get yourself a nice swatter, something in Hickory with a little barbed wire. Or the version of Mistress of Mystery, or any of the Protectron robots. Those are all me too.
That's amazing.
Know that, Wes?
So pretty much every single character.
Yeah, you can't escape me in half the games. So, but I can't escape you either. So that's just fair play.
You actually play the game, Wes?
Well, I play them a ton. I've got like 500 hours on some of these games, and the only thing is I've been playing out of the Fallout 76 recently, where other people can come in. It's an MMO, so you can have other people playing with you, and that's the thing. You've got these young kids who have nothing better to do than sit around and play this until they could do it in their sleep. And you walk in and go, "Hi," and you're going to take you out immediately.
It's the smack talk I can't handle.
It is.
I just want to wring a little neck of some like kid in his basement somewhere.
Mike, what's your game of choice?
I mean, I've been playing a lot of Madden recently. So I love playing sports games. I love playing Call of Duty. I play Warzone with a bunch of my buddies all the time. And I'm big into like Fallout and Elder Scrolls, those big RPG games. Yeah. I love them. That's my nerd coming out.
You guys don't play the UFC game?
Oh, I'm terrible at that game. There's too many buttons for me.
I'm okay at the UFC game. I'm okay. I haven't played it too much, but I'm going to get the new one when it comes out.
That's awesome.
Good deal.
All right. Well, listen, we're going. We got. It's time to wrap this up for this week. I want to go around the horn and have everybody give us your parting thoughts. Starting with Wes Johnson, who just picked up to get something.
I've got myself a Wabbajack. That's right, Shea Gorath's Wabbajack. And I can use it to zap people and turn them into anything I'd wish. So I hope that you use it to turn your COVID weekend into a crazy weekend.
That's awesome. Steve, you got any parting thoughts for us? You got the trilogy coming up?
No, it's my daughter's birthday tomorrow, so
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I put it. We got a little. It's pretty sweet. It's a little remote control Jeep where I can. It's like they give back an Xbox controller, an Xbox controller, so I can like steer it while she learns how to drive it. So took me about 3 hours to put together today, which was very fun. After training, it was always a good time. Overall, you guys have a good weekend. Thanks for having me on. And thanks for letting me be part of the team.
Awesome. Hey, Mike, you got it. What's your parting thought?
I'm just excited to go visit the Castle Master, and the great dude. Awesome time.
Ass mass.
We'll get you on a Zoom call with him.
Absolutely.
Ask him anything.
Exactly. G-Dub, what do you got for us?
Guys, super stoked that you made it on the show tonight. Stipe, huge fan. Looking forward to August 15th. Going to be a big night. I think it's going to be a big win for you. So here at Team Killcliff, we're all super stoked to A, have you on board, and B, watch that fight, man. We are big fans. So
go get him, Stipe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Absolutely, guys. All right. Well, this wraps up another week. Stipe, Mike, G-Dub, Wes, God bless you guys. Thank you so much. We will be back next Friday with another show. And if anybody has any problems, just remember to call the Castle Master. God bless.
1-800-CAST.
Take it easy, guys.
Thank you.